I've seen so many men, because they have issues with their wife, they don't want to eat again. Abba, my dear, I want to beg you. Eat to have strength. Respect her food. Do you know that nothing pains women like some of the dining attitude their husband exhibits? For you as a husband, you may not understand it. May I tell you that it takes energy to cook. It takes energy to put the meal on the table. So as a husband, it's very important that you respect the meal of your wife. This episode, I want to talk about 10 dining attitude your wife don't want to see from you as a husband. Yes, maybe no one have ever tell you this truth, but as your sister, I come to tell you the truth because I love seeing you and your family being happy, being joyful. Grab your pen and grab your paper and let's journey together. Number one, never you ever play with your phone whenever you are eating. Keep it aside. You have been with this phone for so many hours. It's time to eat. I've seen so many men, whenever they are eating, they pick their phone, they'll be scrolling up and down, answering calls, receiving messages. Do you know what you are doing? You are telling your wife that in as much as that food is concerned, your phone is more important than the food. Why don't you wait until you finish eating, you continue with your phones? It's a sign of disrespect. It's a sign that shows that you don't care about her food and her efforts. Please keep your phone aside. When you finish eating, go and glue with your phone. But never you ever eat with your phone. Number two, never you ever overly complain about one thing that went wrong in her food. As a mother, as a wife, may I tell you that not every time that our food comes out best. Sometimes you may feel like, oh, I want to cook the best, but it end up being so salty or no salt or something of that nature. If you notice that it's too much salt or something, don't overly complain. If you must talk about it, why don't you wait after eating? Why do you want to complain when you are eating? And not only you are complaining, you overly complain about it. Nothing pains women so much when they had negative things about their food. Do your best not to over complain for what went wrong in the food. Number three, never you ever go for food strike because you have issue with your wife. I've seen so many men, because they have issue with their wife, they don't want to eat again. Haba, my dear, I want to beg you. Eat to have strength to continue with your issues. Why should you go for food strike? Because you have issue with your wife. It's a sign of immaturity. It's a bad dining attitude. If you want to continue with your issue, at least eat to have energy to continue. Respect her food. Eat. After eating, you can have energy to continue if you must continue. Number four, never you be a pinky eater. I've seen so many men, when their wife serve them food, the first question they'll ask is this thing you cook? Come on, my dear. If you don't like that food, eat first. After eating, ask your wife. Use a nice voice. You remember I used to say, nice voice is key for everything. Approach her and say, honey, sweetheart, do you know that I don't like this food? I'm allergic to it. I don't like the taste. I don't like this. I don't like that. But never you ever look at the food and say, is this thing you cook? Come on. It pains us. It pains women to enter into kitchen and to come out with this approach of, is this thing you cook? Let's encourage our women. Number five, no matter what happened, never you ever pour her food away and said, I better eat bread. I better eat cake than to eat this. Hey, do you know that it takes energy to cook? How come do you pour the food away if you don't want to eat it? Why don't you put it and cover it rather than to pour the food away and say you better eat bread, you better eat cake? It is not good. It is not encouraging. Don't pour the food away. Yes, she knew that you are angry, but that does not mean that you should pour the food away. Cover it, keep it there. Go ahead and eat the bread, but don't use the word, I better eat bread. Because what you are saying is that bread is better than what he cooked for you. Before we continue, my YouTube friends, I want to ask you, have you subscribed? Please, if you have not done that, do it immediately. Give this video a thumb up. That will motivate us to keep bringing more valuable video for you. I love to talk about family because I love seeing family that stays together, enjoy life together, do life together. Number 6, never you ever pour her the food she cooked. I have seen this one so many times. Men will become angry on one thing or the other. All of a sudden, he carried the food and poured to the wife. My dear, what is wrong? Has it gone to that? Why should you pour her the food she cooked? Why should you demonstrate your anger to that extent? Is it not better to cover the food and walk away than to pour her the food she cooked? It's a sign of disrespect. It's a dining attitude that women doesn't like. They may not tell you as your lover, but as your big sister, I come to tell you the truth. Never you pour her the food she cooked. Another point is eating with open mouth, making sound. My dear, this one is I have seen so many men when they are eating, all you'll be hearing is kaka, 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 like there's a lot of sound. As your wife, we don't want it. We want you to eat like a gentleman. We want you to eat closing your mouth. You don't need to make sound. Making sound doesn't make us to feel you enjoy the food, you know. So do all your best not to make sound when you are eating. Another point is comparing her food with another person. Maybe it's your mother food, it's your sister food, to that restaurant. Or, hey, my dear, she will never cook like your mother. She will never cook like that restaurant that you used to go to take your lunch. She will never cook like your sister. So never you ever compare her food with those people. Perhaps if you want her to cook something similar, you can take her out to eat that food. Somebody like me, if I eat any food that I like, I go home to try it. But if I don't get it, does not mean you should criticize me or compare me with other person's food. Please, never you compare her with your mother food. Remember, she is unique. Another point is bringing up controversial topic whenever you are eating. If you know those topics that your wife don't like, why are you bringing up when you are eating? Because the moment this topic arises, you know what happened? The atmosphere change. Do your best not to bring controversial topic on the dining. Be it religion topic, political topic, or any topic of any kind. Keep it aside. After eating, you can talk about that. The last but not the least is if you don't appreciate her efforts to put the meal. I know sometimes, many times, we take those things for granted. May I tell you that cooking is like a medical doctor prescribing medicine for a sick person. If you give that person overdose, the person will die. If you give that person lesser dose, the person will not be healed. The same way for a woman that is cooking. If she puts excess of salt or any spicy, you will not like the food. If she puts lesser, the food is tasteless. So never you ever undermine her efforts. Appreciate her always, because cooking have to do with mathematics. So many arithmetics. So appreciate those arithmetics. Thank you so much, my YouTube friends. I hope that this blessed you with so many mistakes that you need to avoid whenever you are eating with your wife, whenever you are eating with your family. Thank you, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share to friends that will benefit from our channel, and put in the comments your takeaway. I will see you in another episode. Shalom.